So today I'm going to share with you how a car accident 21 years ago changed my life and my approach towards business forever. It gave me a very profound way of thinking. How profound, I didn't realize until I looked back in retrospect and understood how powerful it was. That's when I harnessed it, and today I teach it to all my clients that allows them to break their records in their lives respectively. Sound like fun? Let's get into it. Hey guys, my name's Yahya, founder and creator of Record Breaker, where I help you shatter past your highest revenue record months in the shortest amount of time. And today we're rewinding back to 2001. I was studying at the university. It was the weekend. I was on my way to a picnic when my car skidded on the road, smashed into the railing, went topsy-turvy and fell back down on the road. True story. I was in shock. I didn't know what happened. I was pulled out of the car by bystanders and they made me do a joint check to see if I'd broken any bones or if I'd punctured any organs. There weren't any. Basically, I walked away unscathed, except a ligament had been pulled. But what follows is far more interesting. After I was hospitalized, put on painkillers, after the shock wore off, the doctors gave me a diagnosis. They told me that I would not be able to load my knee ever again, which meant no running, no lifting heavy weights. They said I would have to be even careful while walking. And to me, that was akin to a death sentence. Someone who was very active, someone who's always been involved in sports all the way from school. It was pretty much a huge death sentence, about almost 50% of things I couldn't do in my life. So initially I was shocked, I was depressed, I didn't know what to do. But after all of that wore off, I decided that I'm not going to believe them and I'm going to prove them wrong. This led to a deep dive, learning about recovery, biomechanics, leverages, nutrition, and how everything comes together to support the healing of the human body. Today, it's been 21 years since that accident. I have not only run and walked consistently, but I have competed in powerlifting competitions where I was required to squat multiples of my own body weight, and I've won. Needless to say, I proved them wrong and I proved myself right in learning certain things about the body and its ability to heal itself. The lesson I learned here is not everything people tell you is true, even if they're more experienced and have more authority than you. Now, fast forward a couple of years, I graduated from the university. I was running around on the job circuit trying to get gainfully employed. I was applying to my dream companies, all these huge, big, established multinational companies, and I was getting rejected. I was failing in the interviews. I was not being hired by them. Now, since I had to start somewhere, I joined a startup. A lot less money, a lot more work. Now, what this did for me was it allowed me to learn at an accelerated pace, apply what I was learning, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, modify, adapt, apply again. I got to launch products. I got to build systems and processes from scratch. I got a 360-degree view of what marketing, sales, and operations looks like. And in retrospect, I realized I would never have been afforded this opportunity if I'd gone and joined an established company where roles and responsibilities were delegated and there were strict demarcations between what you could do and what you couldn't do. Now, I didn't know this at the time, so I wasn't too thrilled about it, but the doer in me decided to execute to the best of his ability. I did a great job, and soon enough, I started rising the ranks. Soon enough, I was recruited by multinational companies, and the most important part is I was recruited specifically because I had experience of working in a startup. So the lesson I learned here is what we think is bad for us in the short run actually sets us up to win in the long run. Now, soon into my career in multinationals, I was working hard, burning the midnight oil, and I wasn't super careful about my nutrition, diet, working out, and fitness. So I developed a pre-diabetic condition and I was diagnosed with fatty liver. Once again, the doctors told me that I'd have to go on medication, I'd have to do this, that, and the other. Now, using my previous car accident experience, and I went deeper and deeper into understanding human physiology, endocrinology, biology, nutrition, stress management, sleep, and how it impacts the body as a whole. Soon enough, I cracked the code, I figured it out, I was no longer pre-diabetic, and I had reversed my fatty liver. Now, the lesson I learned here, a very important lesson, is perspective shifting. Instead of thinking about why is this happening to me, I started thinking about why is this happening for me? What am I meant to learn here? Most importantly, what am I meant to do here? So I started seeing negative things, challenges, bad things, basically as opportunities for me to learn, improve, and develop a certain skill set that I was sure was going to help me in the future. Now, fast forward a couple more years, I was working in Pfizer where I'd grown my portfolio to $10 million. But I was also getting complacent. I mean, after 8 years, who wouldn't get complacent in the same company? And then came the second or the third or the fourth round of downsizing. As is the case with a lot of multinational companies, every couple of years there's going to be downsizing. So when that came around, I had an important decision to make. Stick with the company, grow at a slow pace, protect my job and retire, or take the leap, join a smaller company, learn a lot more, develop new skill sets, and grow far more than I possibly could in this company. So basically it boiled down to whether I wanted to stay comfortable and continue or get really uncomfortable real fast. And as hard as the decision was, I took the leap and moved on to another company and then another company as the country head for one country and eventually two countries. Now this was a ton of new work because I had to set up those businesses from zero, from scratch, which meant licensing, regulations, import, export, government liaisons, hiring people, setting up departments, marketing, sales, HR, finance, legal, labeling, and a lot more things. Was it difficult? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. Did I learn a lot? Yes. Did I succeed? Yes. What is the lesson I learned here? If you want to grow and you want to keep growing and you want to do big things in life, you have to get very comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to regularly put yourself in uncomfortable situations so that you develop the skill set required to go to the next level. And finally, I saw a repeat of this for the last company that I ever worked for as an employee. I absolutely loved it. But after 5 years of doing it and getting really good at scaling businesses from 0 to 1 million and doing and learning all the things that needed to be done, when the next round of downsizing came in this company, I was secretly hoping that my name would be on the list. Why? Because I used the golden handshake to start my own business consulting and artificial and robotics companies. And this was all during the pandemic when people were desperately trying to hang on to their jobs for dear life. Now, some of you might judge me and say that was a stupid decision. Others among you might ask, Yahya, were you ready for it? No, but I'd had enough experience to understand and embrace the fact that life affords opportunities when we least expect them. And there is never a right time to go ahead with an opportunity. You either do it or you don't. And by this time, the comfort had long been knocked out of my system and had been replaced with confidence and courage in my abilities to learn, execute, learn again, adapt, modify, execute, and be successful. So the lesson I learned here is courage is not being fearless. It's doing something in spite of there being fear. It is a muscle that needs to be practiced again and again and again until it is well developed and becomes second nature. You can create any future that you desire as long as you have the courage to execute on it, even especially when the time isn't right, because the time will never be right. And today I teach all of these 5 lessons to all my clients that I work with because they dramatically transform a person's identity and what they think they're capable of. Boys and girls, I hope you found this useful. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.